everyone, it's Ellie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the best and the worst drugstore foundations for dry skin. So those are all products that are targeted towards dry skin because it wouldn't be fair to mention a foundation for oily skin not working for dry skin, right? So those are the foundations that I really want to talk about. So obviously if you have a different opinion, feel free to leave them in the comments down below because it's obviously nice to have a discussion about it, because just because they didn't work for me doesn't mean that they won't work for you, but I'll explain how they didn't work for me and how they worked for me. So let's do this. So the first one I want to mention is the perfect foundation if you're looking for something that is going to be lightweight, light coverage, and very dewy, but also very natural. And I wanted to talk about the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This one is dehydrated in Smooth, and this is just absolutely awesome if you're looking for a great foundation to wear on a daily basis. This basically kind of feels like a tinted moisturizer, so really lightweight. It looks incredibly natural on the skin. I will link down below any first impression that I've done on these products because I believe my 3 favorite ones are actually, I did a first impression on them, so you can see them, the before and after and everything. But I was so shocked because this product was raved about so much, so I didn't want my expectations to be too high. It blew me away because it looked like I wasn't wearing any foundation, in a good way obviously. Like, my skin was so much more even. Everywhere that you need a little more coverage, I would add just a little bit of concealer, but if you're looking for something that is very natural for every day and you have dry skin, something a little bit dewy like this is just the perfect thing to go for. So I have the heavy swatch there and then just a light wash like it would be on my face. I recommend using it either with your hands if it's something that you like, or using a sponge, beauty blender, or a Real Technique sponge. I feel like this is what gives it the best finish, but it looks incredibly natural, gives you just a little bit of glow, and it's just perfect for every day. Definitely something that I absolutely love and would repurchase. It doesn't oxidize on me, it lasts all day, it doesn't disappear, but it also doesn't start emphasizing dry patches, which I feel like it's something that can be really difficult to find for foundation at the drugstore for dry skin. This is the best foundation if you have a dry patch. Basically won't emphasize it at all, which is very difficult to find. Also, it won't emphasize pores either. I just wanted to quickly swatch the 2 colors that I have just to give you a little bit of an idea for the colors. So on top, that you might not be able to really see because it's basically my skin tone right now, this is my winter shade. It is 110 Porcelain, and the one on the bottom is my summer color, which is 125, and there's no name on it. So we talked about a favorite. Now let's talk about a not so favorite, and I had really high expectation for this foundation because it's not available in Canada, so I had to wait. Whenever I went to the US, I ran and went to Ulta and bought this foundation at really high expectation because I felt like I kept hearing people with dry skin say that it was perfect for dry skin people. So obviously bought it and super disappointed with it. And I'm talking about the Neutrogena. This is the LT Skin Liquid Makeup. And first off, the color match, I didn't choose right, but I feel like the foundation, if my memory serves me right, the color was pretty pink tone, all of them, and this one is definitely way too pink for me. I got the color 20 Ivory, Natural Ivory. I have a pretty neutral to cool tone, but this one was definitely straight up pink, as you can probably tell. I feel like it doesn't look as pink in the bottle. But yeah, first off, the color wasn't the best, which isn't really the foundation's fault. But you know how I said the Fit Me foundation was not filling on top of my skin, didn't emphasize dry patches or pores? Well, this is basically what this one does. I would say again, light medium coverage, you can probably build it up, but every time I would try to just apply even a thin coat, it would just sit weirdly on my skin, just sit on top of it, never ended up looking right. It emphasized my pores, it emphasized my dry patches, my nose, around my mouth and everything, and it basically was really underwhelming. It didn't really have that like healthy, you know, like glowy skin, healthy look, and I just, no. It also did oxidize, which I'm trying to wait a little bit. You might be able to tell that it got a little darker, and overall was just not working for me whatsoever. And I know some people like it, but personally a big fail for me, and I would not recommend it. I didn't think it was worth the money, and definitely not worth a trip to the US. I had also heard a lot of people say that it reminds them of the NARS foundation, LT Glow foundation, which kind of see what they meant, but I definitely prefer the NARS one over this one. This foundation though is another huge favorite, and I constantly recommend it. And I do feel like L'Oreal is like the expensive brand of the drugstore, but oh my, this foundation is worth every cent. So I wanted to talk about the L'Oreal Lumi foundation, and I am in love with this foundation. First off, there's a pump, which why is there foundations out there with no pump? It's really annoying, but this is just perfect. They do have a pretty good range of color. I do wish though that they had C1 and C2 available here. I know it's available some places in Europe, but not in America. I usually end up going with C3 depending on my skin tone. Sometimes I'll go with N3. The range of color in general is really good. There's the W range for warm undertone, they have the neutral undertone, and then they have the cool undertone. So if you have really warm undertone, I do recommend this range of colors simply because they get very, very yellow. Like even neutral is pretty much on the yellow side a little bit, so definitely great if you have that warm undertone. But this foundation is perfect. It is medium coverage. It looks really glowy, but not overly glowy. So even if you have more of a like normal, almost even combination skin, you can still wear this foundation. It's great. So I usually tend to gravitate towards this. It lasts all day. Just the finish looks so natural on the skin. Again, doesn't feel cakey whatsoever. Doesn't emphasize any dry patches or any pores. Just swatching it, you can just tell that it's the perfect formula. It feels really liquidy, but like creamy, and it's just not cakey whatsoever. Obviously, this is not my color right now, but you can see it is absolutely stunning. If you have ever tried this foundation, you know what I'm talking about. You can apply it with your finger if you really like that, or it looks great with a brush, and it also looks great with a beauty blender. Basically, this is like an all-around perfect foundation. If I could only use one drugstore foundation for the rest of my life, it would be this one, which it's a pretty huge statement, but that's just how strongly I feel about this one. So I had C3 and this is C5. I know I have an N somewhere, but I can't find it. Obviously, C5 is dark for me. I usually mix it up with other foundation. I felt like the undertone was just perfect for me. So you can see how much this one is a lot more pink than this one, but they're both cool undertones. So definitely go in store and see which colors you might want, but I absolutely love this one. This is definitely the perfect undertone for me. This one is a bit pink, but again, I tend to mix it up and I make it work, and it's absolutely awesome. Again, by the way, it doesn't oxidize, doesn't start looking cakey whatsoever throughout the day. It also has a SPF of 20 if you're looking into that, but I have never had an issue with it having a flashback. So next one I want to mention, I was really underwhelmed with it. It is a newer product, so I had high hopes. I feel like everyone was mentioning it, and I was really curious to see how I would feel about it. And it is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. I actually have tried the Infallible Pro one, the one that is matte, which is great. Even if you have dry skin, by the way, I would recommend trying it if you're looking for something that is full coverage, but you will have to exfoliate and hydrate properly beforehand, because obviously long wear matte foundation or full coverage tend to be a little bit more drying, but you can make it work. I have tried it in the past and I do like it. So I thought, wow, they came out with the same-ish formula but glowy. That's perfect, but no, this one was just not what I thought it would be. Again, high expectation because I had tried this one and loved it, and I thought, wow, this one would also work, but this one is kind of a light medium coverage, and I really thought it would work for me. I don't know if it's my skin that just didn't agree with the foundation, because I know some people really like it. But for me, again, it gave me the same problem as the Neutrogena one. It just sat on top of my skin, and it emphasized pores and emphasized dry patches, and overall just didn't work for me whatsoever. This color, by the way, if you were looking for this one is the color 204, so this is obviously more of a summer shade for me. But overall, just didn't work for me. If you have any tips, any tricks, if you found a way to make it work, feel free to leave some comments letting us know. But overall, just didn't work out for me whatsoever, and I was definitely very disappointed with it. Next one I wanted to talk about is also from L'Oreal, and this one is the Lumi Cushion Foundation. And when this came out, everybody went nuts, me included, because I wanted to try some cushion foundations, which, by the way, if you have any recommendation, feel free, because during the winter, I feel like they're perfect because they are super glowy, super moisturizing, which is just perfect whenever winter is there drying your skin out. So if you haven't seen it yet, you just open up. It does come with a little puff, which I do like it, but I do prefer usually applying any foundation with a beauty blender or any sponge. And then you open it and you have, and you have the little cushion right here. This one is the color N2. Again, same problem with the L'Oreal Lumi. The range of color, I wish they had the lighter shades here available in America, but this is the most glowy foundation that I have ever tried. If you haven't seen, again, I will link down below. I did a first impression on it, and my skin looked so glowy and not dry whatsoever. So if you have really, really dry skin and you really like the glowy look, I would recommend this one. I think they did say that was like medium coverage, but I would say it's probably more of a light coverage. And let me swatch it actually. Here, so this is the color N2. I think you see it better if I do this actually. So this is the color N2. I do have to say though that you do get less product and it is more expensive than the Lumi one. So if you're just looking for the best deal, I would go with the Lumi one. But if you really liked really moisturizing, really glowy, and you like the format, I would recommend this one. I do think it's worth the money and I really enjoy it. And yeah. So those are all my favorites and not so favorite drugstore foundation for dry skin. So again, feel free to leave in the comments any recommendation. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, not miss any future videos, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.